Okay, so you know that feeling you get right when you see like a picture-perfect beach and you think,
What if I could just live there?
yeah, what if I could just own a little slice,
Yes.
a boutique resort maybe right on that beach with people enjoying themselves?
A lot of people have that dream, especially when they see pictures of Thailand.
Absolutely. It's just so captivating. And today we're going to take a deep dive into what it takes to turn that dream into a reality, right? Investing in boutique resorts in Thailand, specifically using insights from Ocean Worldwide.
Yeah, they're a luxury real estate agency, and they're based in, well, they pronounce it Phuket.
Phuket,
Phuket.
not Phuket.
Right, which a lot of people get wrong.
Exactly. And they've been there for quite a while, since 2004. So they've got their finger on the pulse of this market.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is the director, Sandra O'Neill.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing.
She's got years of experience helping thousands of families and investors really understand this market.
Yeah. And they focus specifically on luxury residential real estate in Phuket and Koh Samui. So really prime locations.
The best.
So for our listeners out there who are dreaming about this, who are thinking about this investment, our mission today is to take all of Ocean Worldwide's insights and distill it down for you.
Yeah, cut through the noise. What are the real
What are
opportunities?
the pitfalls?
The challenges.
What do you need to know to make this dream a reality?
Exactly. So we're going to be going through a blog post that they wrote with, I mean, just tons of information.
Years worth of experience condensed.
Exactly.
All right, so let's jump right in.
Let's go.
Let's start with just the lay of the land. What does the Thai hotel market look like right now, especially from the perspective of a luxury real estate agency like Ocean Worldwide?
Well, one of the first things they talk about is the economy. And right now, Thailand's economy is a little bit slow,
Yeah, there's been a bit of a slowdown.
which is something that any potential investor needs to keep in mind. But Thailand is consistently popular as a tourist destination.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point to make, right? Just because the economy is going through a little bit of a dip doesn't mean that long-term Thailand is any less appealing.
Exactly. And in fact, the
Oh.
government knows this, and they actually try to stimulate domestic tourism as well to keep things moving.
So there are initiatives in place to kind of help prop up the industry.
Exactly. And, if you look forward a little bit, there are some encouraging projections, for example, in Bangkok.
Sure.
By 2025, they're expecting the average hotel occupancy to be around 77%.
That's pretty good.
So things are looking up, and that overall sentiment is something to keep in mind.
Okay, so that's kind of the big picture, but let's zoom in a little bit when it comes to the competitive landscape. What does Ocean Worldwide say about that, especially for boutique resorts in places like Phuket?
So you have to remember that the Thai hotel market is super diverse. I mean, you've got everything from those backpacker hostels all the way up to those really high-end resorts that Ocean Worldwide specializes in. So you have to know who you're up against.
Right. Know your neighbors, know what they're offering, and how you can stand out.
Exactly. And speaking of high-end, there are more and more of these luxury resorts popping up, especially in those prime spots like Phuket and Koh Samui.
So it's heating up.
For sure. So it's important to understand what they're doing, who they're targeting, and how they're finding success.
So beyond direct competition, what are some of the broader trends in tourism that someone investing in a boutique resort should keep in mind?
Well, one of the biggest ones is ecotourism.
Right. Everyone's talking about sustainability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are way more conscious about how they travel, and they're willing to pay a premium for sustainable options.
And especially in a place like Thailand that relies so heavily on its natural beauty.
Right. You have to protect that paradise. And then there's technology.
Yeah, it's changing everything.
People want things to be seamless. They want to book online. They want to check in on their phone, maybe even control the lights in their room with an app.
Right. And have high-speed Wi-Fi everywhere.
Absolutely. It's a must-have these days. And then finally, there's just a lot more diversity in accommodation options.
Mm.
People aren't just looking for a standard hotel room anymore. They want unique experiences. They want something special.
Okay, so now we have a good sense of the Thai hotel market and the trends shaping it. So let's talk about the benefits of investing specifically in boutique resorts in Thailand.
Well, one of the biggest draws that Ocean Worldwide keeps coming back to is Thailand's just incredible natural beauty.
I mean, come on, those beaches, those sunsets.
It's like a postcard come to life. And boutique resorts can really capitalize on this by offering those intimate experiences that you just wouldn't get at a big chain hotel.
Right, think private villas with direct beach access.
Exactly. Or those luxury sea view villas that Ocean Worldwide specifically mentions. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine waking up to that every morning.
Talk about a selling point.
And then there's the world-renowned Thai hospitality. It's more than just service. It's a genuine warmth. And that attention to detail that makes you feel so welcome.
Yeah, and that can really set a boutique resort apart, especially in a competitive market like Phuket.
Exactly. People remember those experiences and they tell their friends and they come back for more.
So it's great for repeat business.
Absolutely. And then on a broader scale, Thailand's economy is generally trending upwards.
Yay.
There are always going to be fluctuations, but the long-term outlook is positive, and that means more tourism, more demand for high-quality accommodation.
So investing now could be a way to get ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Okay, so the potential is there, but let's get real. How do you actually evaluate the potential return on investment for a boutique resort?
So Ocean Worldwide emphasizes that it's not as simple as just looking at the purchase price. You have to consider a lot of different factors like the current economic climate, the location, the amenities, and of course your operating costs.
Right, and that all feeds into your financial projections, which need to be realistic.
Exactly. And don't forget marketing costs. Even in a beautiful place like Phuket, you have to let people know you exist.
Right, good marketing is essential. And location keeps coming up and it makes sense, but why is it so important to really nail down the perfect spot for a boutique resort?
Because it's not just about finding a pretty beach. It's about finding a location that aligns with your vision for the resort and attracts the right kind of guests.
So it's about understanding the micro markets within Phuket.
Right. So Ocean Worldwide talks about places like Patong, which is known for its nightlife, so it attracts a younger party crowd.
And then there are quieter, more luxurious areas like Kamala or Surin.
Exactly, which are
Yeah.
great for families, couples, and those looking for a more relaxed, high-end experience.
So it's about choosing a spot that fits your target audience.
Exactly. And then there are those practical considerations like proximity to the airport.
Right. Transportation is key, especially for international tourists.
And don't forget about road infrastructure and local transport options.
Makes a huge difference for guests who want to explore the island.
And you also need to understand the local market dynamics, things like seasonality.
Right. Occupancy rates will definitely fluctuate throughout the year.
And competition is fierce. So you need to know who else is out there, what they're offering, and how you can differentiate yourself.
And their advice for really getting a feel for a specific location.
Spend time there.
Don't just rely on online research.
Go there. Immerse yourself in the local atmosphere. Talk to people, talk to business owners, talk to residents, get their firsthand insights.
It's about going beyond the statistics.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've done your research, you found your perfect spot, now it's time to negotiate.
And Ocean Worldwide says before you even make an offer, you need to do your research on comparable properties.
So don't just look at the asking prices.
Right. Dig deeper.
Yeah.
Look at recent sales of similar boutique resorts in the same area. Talk to local agents, even if they're not representing the seller, just to get a sense of what's realistic.
So it's all about gathering that market intelligence.
Exactly. And they also recommend having a team of experienced professionals on your side.
So a local real estate agent who specializes in hotels and resorts.
And a lawyer who understands Thai property law, especially when it comes to foreign investors.
So you're really covered.
Absolutely. And when it comes to actually negotiating, they have a few key tips.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, be prepared to walk away if the terms aren't right. Don't be afraid to start your offer below the asking price and highlight the value you bring as a buyer, like a quick closing or an all-cash offer.
And I imagine being respectful and professional goes a long way.
Absolutely. Even if things get tough, and be willing to compromise sometimes to reach a deal that works for everyone.
So it's not about winning or losing, it's about finding a fair agreement.
Exactly.
All right, deal's done, you've got your resort, now you have to actually run it. So what does Ocean Worldwide say about hotel operations and management?
Well, they emphasize the importance of having experienced hotel operators on board, people who really know the ropes and can handle the day-to-day stuff.
So they're the ones who are going to ensure guest satisfaction, maintain the property, and ultimately drive profitability.
Exactly. And when you're looking at potential resorts to buy, it's really important to understand who the current operator is, if there is one, and what their track record is like.
So it's not just about the property itself, it's about the team in place.
Right. And then there are the operational costs, things like staff wages, utilities, maintenance, marketing.
Yeah, those can really add up.
Especially in a tourist destination like Phuket,
Yeah.
where seasonality can affect staffing needs and utility bills can fluctuate.
And maintenance is key to keeping those luxury standards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding ways to optimize those costs without sacrificing the guest experience.
And that ultimately leads to higher profitability.
Exactly. Happy guests mean repeat business, positive reviews, and word-of-mouth referrals.
It all comes back to providing an exceptional experience.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about something that can be a big draw for investors in Thailand, those government incentives.
Oh, yeah. The Thai Board of Investment, or the BOI, they offer a lot of incentives to encourage foreign investment, especially in sectors like tourism and hospitality.
So what kind of incentives are we talking about?
Well, one of the big ones is tax holidays. Depending on your project and its location, you could be eligible for corporate income tax exemptions for up to 8 years.
Wow, that's significant.
Yeah, it can really help reduce your initial costs. And they also have incentives for duty-free importation of machinery and equipment.
So you can save money on those upfront investments.
Right. And they're also really pushing for sustainability. So there are incentives for eco-friendly projects, things like renewable energy, waste management, water conservation.
And those are particularly important in a place like Phuket.
Absolutely.
Now, are there any specific requirements to be eligible for these BOI incentives?
Yeah, so usually there's a minimum investment amount required, which can vary depending on the project. And there are typically Thai shareholding requirements, although there can be exceptions for certain BOI-promoted projects.
So it's worth looking into those specifics.
Definitely. And they also looked at your debt-to-equity ratio and might have some revenue limits in the initial years.
Okay, and one more thing about the BOI that Ocean Worldwide points out is that companies that receive their promotion might be eligible for complete foreign ownership.
Yeah, which can be a huge advantage for international investors.
Okay, so it's a complex system, but there's a lot of potential there for savvy investors.
Absolutely.
Now let's look ahead a little bit. What are some of the emerging trends in the Thai hospitality sector that Ocean Worldwide is seeing?
Well, the growth of ecotourism is definitely continuing. People are becoming more and more conscious about their impact on the environment. So resorts that are sustainable, that are eco-friendly, they're going to have a real advantage.
Especially in a place like Phuket, where preserving that natural beauty is so crucial.
Exactly. And then technology is also changing the game. Guests expect the seamless digital experience. They want to be able to do everything online and on their phones.
Right, from booking to checking in to controlling the lights in their room.
Exactly. And they want personalized recommendations.
Yeah.
They want things to be tailored to their preferences.
So it's about using technology to enhance the guest experience.
Exactly.
And what about the types of accommodation? Are people still just looking for traditional hotel rooms?
I mean, those are still popular, but there's a growing trend towards more unique and experiential stays. Things like glamping service departments, even converted spaces that offer something different, something memorable.
So it's about moving beyond the cookie-cutter approach.
Exactly. People want authenticity. They want something special.
Okay, so you've got your amazing, eco-friendly, tech-savvy boutique resort. You've got your unique accommodations. How do you get people to actually stay there?
Marketing.
Of course.
And Ocean Worldwide says a strong online presence is non-negotiable.
So your website is your digital storefront.
Exactly. It has to look good, it has to be easy to use, and it has to be mobile-friendly because so many people are booking travel on their phones.
And search engine optimization is crucial.
SEO.
SEO. Make sure people can actually find you when they're searching for hotels in Phuket.
Right. And don't forget about content, create blog posts, articles, anything that can draw people to your site and showcase your expertise.
So it's about providing value even before they book.
Exactly. And then there's paid advertising, like Google Ads.
Which can be really effective for targeting specific demographics.
Right. And social media is a must.
Especially in a visual destination like Phuket.
Instagram, Facebook, all about those stunning photos and videos that showcase your resort and the surrounding beauty.
And it's not just about posting pretty pictures. It's about engaging with your audience, responding to comments, building a community.
Exactly. And influencer marketing can be really powerful too, partnering with people who have a large following and can reach your target audience.
So it's a multifaceted approach.
For sure. And don't underestimate the power of online reviews.
Reviews can make or break a business these days.
Absolutely. So providing exceptional customer service is key. And actively managing your online reputation, responding to reviews, both positive and negative, it shows that you care.
So it's all about building trust and credibility.
Exactly.
Now, with any investment, there are always challenges. So what are some of the hurdles that investors might face in Thailand?
Well, economic fluctuations are always a risk. We talked about the current slowdown, but even in the long term, there will be ups and downs.
So you need to have a solid financial plan and be prepared for those fluctuations.
Exactly. And then there's the regulatory environment, which can be complex for foreign investors.
Especially when it comes to things like land ownership and business licenses.
Right. So having local legal and financial advisors is essential.
And then there's the competition.
Phuket is a popular destination, So you're going up against established brands, both international and local.
So you need to find a way to stand out, whether it's through your concept, your service, your location, your niche.
Exactly.
But despite those challenges, what's the overall long-term outlook for the Thai hotel industry?
Ocean Worldwide is optimistic. They believe tourism will rebound strongly and that well-managed resorts in prime locations like Phuket have a bright future.
So there's still a lot of potential there.
Absolutely. And they see continued growth opportunities in ecotourism, technology integration, and diverse accommodation options.
So it's a dynamic market that's constantly evolving.
For sure.
So to sum up this deep dive into the world of investing in boutique resorts in Thailand, using the insights from Ocean Worldwide.
We've learned that while owning a piece of paradise is an alluring dream, it requires careful planning, research, and due diligence.
You need to understand the market, the competition, the legal and financial aspects, and you need to choose the right location, provide exceptional service, and stay ahead of the trends.
And while there are challenges, the long-term outlook for the Thai hotel industry is promising for those who invest wisely.
So as Thailand's tourism landscape evolves, where do you see the most compelling opportunities for a boutique resort to not just thrive, but redefine the idea of a tropical escape?
It's a question worth pondering as you embark on your own deep dive into this captivating market.
It definitely is. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you in the next deep dive.